If you've been told that your labs are normal, but you don't feel normal, this might explain why. My name is Carissa Conrad, and I'm a doctor of physical therapy and therapeutic pain specialist, and I am the vagus nerve PT. Today, I wanted to talk through some common signs of nervous system dysregulation. These are things that I hear about very commonly in my coaching practice when I'm working with patients with chronic fatigue syndrome and long COVID, or others that are recovering from chronic health conditions. Particularly, we talk about these kinds of things as signs that our nervous system was already struggling prior to actually developing the condition that we're dealing with now. I know that I certainly find myself telling this kind of story. Now, when I say dysregulation, I don't mean that you're broken. I mean that your nervous system has gotten stuck in a survival mode. It's trying to protect you, and it's doing a bit of an over-the-top job. It hasn't been able to shift back into safety. When that happens, it doesn't just affect your mood. It affects your sleep. It can affect your digestion. It affects your heart, your blood pressure, even your alcohol tolerance, and how you feel when you first stand up after sitting. So if you've been wondering, why is my body doing this? Let's walk through some of these signs. Now, before we get into it, I do want to point out that some of these signs can indicate other conditions. So it's important that you've already cleared everything with your physician, that you have done the lab work, that you have had a full workup, and you've been told that you are healthy. So have you ever felt heart palpitations? Have you felt your heart rate jumping up? Or have you stood up and suddenly felt like the room is about to spin, or you kind of see stars? Those are all signs that your cardiovascular system might be struggling a bit and is struggling as a result of nervous system dysregulation. I know that I was feeling some of these signs prior to the development of long COVID. I had heart palpitations and I was sent to a cardiologist and cleared, told that everything was healthy and normal. And I also would stand up and, kind of feel that almost could black out kind of experience. Now, for me, this was a time when I was nursing a little one. My son was, 16 months old. He was still nursing through the night, so I wasn't sleeping, putting a lot of demand on my body with nursing, a lot of anxiety, just getting used to having two kiddos instead of one. So I knew my body was having a hard time. And those signs would often particularly come on right after a nursing session. So it seemed like that demand that was being placed on my body was throwing my nervous system off, and it was showing up in those ways as nervous system dysfunction or dysregulation. Didn't realize that at the time. That would have been helpful, but changes in your sleep pattern. So difficulty falling asleep, waking up at 3 a.m., especially if you're feeling anxiety at 3 a.m. or heart racing at 3 a.m., or waking up in the morning and not feeling like you've had a refreshing night's sleep, or you've had a really light sleep. Those are signs of nervous system dysregulation. Now, what's happening is it's essentially as though your brain is trying to remain hypervigilant even while you're sleeping. So it's keeping you from going into those deep restful states, waking you up at 3 a.m., kind of checking the landscape, right? So those can all be signs that the nervous system is struggling. Gut health. Gut health is really big. So the gut is very much tied into the vagus nerve. The vagus nerve innervates the gut, brings a lot of input from the gut to the brain. We've heard about the gut being talked about as like a second brain, right? There's a lot of serotonin produced in the gut. So signs like bloating, nausea, even developing food sensitivities. So if you've been healthy all your life, no issues with any types of foods, and then suddenly you're starting to develop difficulty with eating things like dairy or eggs, or all of a sudden you've got these new food sensitivities, those are all signs of nervous system dysregulation. So again, the gut is very much tied into our survival physiology. It is not needed if there's a lion attacking you, right? So the nervous system and the whole body is going to divert resources away from our digestive processes towards what's needed in that moment for survival. So over time, that chronic stress state causes changes in our gut health. So those are all signs that your nervous system may be dysregulated and should be addressed. Sensory issues. So if lights or sounds have become problematic, if going into crowded spaces suddenly is unappealing, if you hear a dog bark, or your children are being loud, or you hear a baby crying and that just feels intolerable, like you got to get away from it, or you're reacting with a high level of startle response. This is a big one I hear a lot. Small things are very startling. Those are all signs of nervous system dysregulation. This is a hypervigilant state again, where the brain is looking for the possible threats and reacting in a heightened manner to that input. Alcohol. Okay, this is one that's not often talked about, but this is really interesting. If suddenly one drink is feeling like 3, or your hangovers are worse than they used to be, these are signs that your nervous system may be dysregulated. What's interesting is that when I'm talking with clients who have long COVID or chronic fatigue syndrome, I hear over and over that when they wake up in the morning, they feel hungover. And I can definitely relate to that. I remember using that exact language when I was sick with long COVID. It felt like I was drunk all the time, or that but not in a good way, not in a fun way at all, and then feeling like hungover. And so there's very much a similar impact in terms of dysregulation of the nervous system when we drink alcohol. So if the nervous system is already dysregulated, having one drink can really cause a further dysregulation and make you feel like you had 3 and make you tolerate alcohol less. So pretty interesting how that happens. Now, what I want to emphasize is that these are adaptive responses. They are not signs that you're broken. So if this sounds like you, the question is not what's wrong with me. It's how do I help my nervous system reestablish a sense of safety? And this is one reason why I use vagus nerve stimulation in my practice so often. I use this with my clients that I'm coaching for recovery from long COVID and chronic fatigue syndrome. I use it in my physical therapy practice when I'm working with patients with chronic pain. The vagus nerve stimulation helps shift the physiology back towards safety. So thank you so much for being here. Let me know if you would like me to elaborate on any of these topics, what questions you have. Keep coming back, keep commenting. Thank you for being part of this community, and we will see you on the next one.